opportunity to contribute on this important motion, and I want to commend Fianna Fáil for bringing it forward, because we hear every year, I think every single year, the increasing numbers of people who are without home help hours or certainly have insufficient home help, Minister. Indeed, my own constituency in Dublin Bay North, I often meet with distressed family members and other people who urgently require more home help, and there are many reported instances, of course, of constituents being approved for home help but then not having access to the service because of the perceived lack of resources from the service providers. And often these cases are even categorised as urgent, but families are still left waiting with little or no help. And indeed, week in, week out, I've been dealing with numbers of those. The Census 2016 can show there were 637,000 people over 65 years, an increase of over 100,000, or 19.1% on the previous census. And 577,000 of the over 65s, of course, were living in private households, and there were then almost 23,000 in nursing homes. And ESRI, of course, has also forecast that the demand for home care will increase by around 66% down to 2030. So we know the figures, Minister, and we know the needs, and it's your job, obviously, to try and resource that. But as stated, I think, in the motion before us, the Health Service Capacity Review puts that increase effectively at 120%, because at that stage, 1 in 6 of us will be over 65, and the number of over 85s, of course, is set to double. And as the motion before us also references, by September 2018, the number of hospital-delayed discharges had increased from 481 to 613, and a reported 139,000 hospital bed days were lost because of delayed discharges. I particularly agree with the motion's call that home support should be provided over 7 days a week basis, and of course outside of normal office hours, and also to 100% to long-term recipients of social protection payments. And Minister, of course, in your own programme for Partnership Government 2016, where you committed to, and I quote, working to make our older years better years, and the actions before us today, if you were to assiduously follow them, would significantly move along that path, but we haven't seen that so far. And as Deputy Wallace, of course, has said, and I think other deputies before him, the lack of information around this service is the most frustrating, I think, for all of us, and that reference to geography as well. It's really difficult to ascertain the level of need and the impact. That's why we're constantly asking questions, I think, all around the House about this, Minister. For example, in a PQ I received at the end of last month, the HSE wouldn't provide information on the cost of delivering an additional 5,000 home care packages, which I'd asked for, and instead informed me of the new single-funded, of course, home support service for older people, which has amalgamated, of course, with the previous home care packages and home care service. And the PQ reply did inform me that nationally the average cost per client per week for home support services funded by the HSE is estimated to be in the region of €160 per week, and that it would cost around 41.5 million to deliver home care support services to an additional 5,000 a year. And earlier this year, of course, there are reports that private nursing home places are costing around $1,200 a week, an astonishing difference when you think about it, Can, and in the spirit of the motion before us today, puts the emphasis rightly, I think, on home care. And even today I received another PQ answer which relates to the HSE National Service Plan 2018 and provides for 18.25 million home support hours to be delivered to over 50,000 people. And actually it's quite hard for us deputies, Can, to figure out what this means, these hours means in terms of our actual citizens and people maybe who have a half an hour a day and who are looking for maybe an additional half an hour, even as I think the leader of Sinn Féin said recently, what on earth can you do in half an hour? So I want to warmly support the motion before us, and to urge the Minister to move towards a funding model which will support all our seniors all around the country. And of course, what's happened in home care, as in so much else, it does relate to the ferocious cuts by the Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael-led governments in the austerity years, and we have to regain all that territory for our seniors. Thanks, Karen.